Hi, all. I'm laughing at myself because I didn't realize we were ready to go online, and here we are. I'd like to start off today by saying I'm really excited for the change in our overall picture. I started with weight loss in the middle 1990s. It's been wonderful. It continues to be wonderful. But now that we have become AccuLife, I'm much more excited. One of the things that I learned this week, I never knew before. I wasn't surprised. What I discovered this week in conversation was the fact that 90% of people who go on diets gain back all their weight within 3 years. And although I wasn't surprised, I was shocked because what it says to me is no one is learning anything, but it makes me excited that we are now AccuLife because this is what it's all about. Number two, one of the things that I need to get across, and you can say it's me talking about me, there is no other program out there that actually does what we do, and that is actually change your life. We're never going to be able to do without food. And there are 50 million different approaches to it. Ours is a lifestyle change. And if you change your lifestyle, everything around you goes along with it. Now, what I picked for tonight is the fact that we are all creatures of habit. And that's why I'm so excited that we're AccuLife. Because the first thing I want to say to you, if we continue to do what we've been doing, we're going to lose weight. But we're not going to change your life. The process of habits are incredibly strong. All of us are products of what we grew up with. Earlier this morning, I had a telephone call from a woman who had done the program. She's on maintenance. And she said to me, Doc, I've put on 10 pounds. I said, oh. She said, I have to ask you a question. You said to me that 10 pounds was never an issue because 10 pounds doesn't really affect metabolism and that would be fine. I said, I stand by that. Losing or gaining 10 pounds is not going to have any major impact upon you. Why are you asking me? She said, I've been doing very well. I'm into maintenance, and this is my week for detoxification, and I've put on 10 pounds. I said, oh, I have to tell you though, these 10 pounds have come on in the last 4 to 5 months. And I said, what's going on? And she said, I don't know, but this lockdown and everything with it, food, it's not an obsession, but I realize that I've been indulging. What do you suggest? I said, well, you just called me. She said, how long will it take me to take off these 10 pounds? And I said, what's your best guess? She said, 2 weeks. How have you done in the past? And she said, I couldn't see her laugh, but I heard the smile. Then what's the issue? And she said to me, I thought there was an issue until I got you on the phone. And once I heard your voice, and once you said to me, what's the issue? I realized I was in the right place. What do you mean you were in the right place? Dr. Schwartz, I've been dieting on and off all my life. When I did AccuWeight, and I've done remarkably well on AccuWeight, it changed my whole perspective because I had someone I could talk to and someone who put me back in charge of me. For me to have been on maintenance for almost a year, to put on 10 pounds, to know I'm going to take it off in maybe a maximum of 2 weeks and still be part of the program makes me feel wonderful. This is what we are all about. Food is never going to go out of your life. And we have to learn to live with it. I had another call this morning. A woman who weighs over 300 pounds. She finished her first week. And I said, how you doing? She said, not bad. I did lose 4 pounds. And she said, I lost 4 pounds. I said, you sound very excited. And she said, number one, I lost 4 pounds. But number two, Dr. Schwartz, the edema in my legs, I cannot believe the difference. The swelling is down and I lost weight. How do you feel? I feel good. Are you hungry? No, I would like some things, but that's the other surprise. I'm not hungry. This is the beginning of what everything is about. If you don't change your habits, nothing is going to change. The big question for all of us, what are we doing here? Why are we here? Now, whatever your answer is, it's okay. One of the habits we have is that we're constantly trying to prove that we're doing the right thing. And the right thing is based upon images that we have in our heads. And where did those images come from? From a lifetime of being who we are. Whatever your circumstances, whatever your environment is, you've developed over the years patterns of behavior, and you tend to stick to those patterns of behavior because you're comfortable with them. You're used to them. And to change a habit becomes uncomfortable. I know that one of the things that I tend to do is I tend to lecture. I don't realize it, but I do. And until someone stops me and asks me a question and I can respond to them in a direct kind of fashion, I don't realize that I'm lecturing. But then you play back what it is that I've said, and I kind of try to reverse roles and be out there on the screen. And I listen to myself. And what I say is, if someone were talking to me that way, would I be listening? Sometimes I'm not sure because I'm not responding to the reality of the situation at the time. Now, AccuWeight Loss, which is now AccuLife, is different from any other program out there because it does not impact on your metabolism. There are no changes that occur. You can go on the program, you can go off the program. Every other program out there that is successful requires that you change your life. We require that you change your habits. And the only way you're going to change your habits is by exposing them. There are certain patterns of behavior that all of us have. You've got patterns of behavior. This triggers this, this triggers this. How many times have you said, oh, I did it again? Now, once you identify the pattern of behavior, do what we're doing now. Verbalize it. This is what I do when this happens. The gal who spoke to me this morning, I had in the back of my head, Dr. Schwartz, that as long as I didn't go beyond 10 pounds, and when I called you this morning, I was kind of bothered by the fact that I'm up 10 pounds. But when I spoke to you and I realized everything was fine, the only thing that changed is I wasn't fully paying attention. You got me to pay attention. In less than 2 weeks, I'll have taken off the 10 pounds. And I'm still in maintenance. I'm still maintaining my weight. Physically, I feel terrific. Why am I complaining? And I said, why are you complaining? And she said, because until I spoke to you, I was back in my head. I had done something wrong. Why do I always do these kinds of things? And I realized that what you have taught me, which is to open up and tell the truth, because I'm in charge. I said, what do you mean by that? I let myself gain 10 pounds. Okay. Now, in the past, I would have beaten myself up. I was bothered by it, but I wasn't beating myself up because I picked up the phone. I called you. It was time for my detox week to begin with. And I'm going to probably do a second detox week. And then I'm going to go back to the lifestyle that I've created for myself. And that feels so good because I know what I'm doing. And now I have a reinforcement from you that what it is that I'm doing works, not only because it works, but I'm living proof for myself that it works. So, number one, let's understand AccuLife puts you in the center. You're in charge. So let's take a look at what the habits are. And this is really important. I had a woman call me on the phone and say to me that she was struggling. And I said, "Why are you struggling?" And she says, "Well, there's nothing to chew on. I wanted to do this and I wanted to do that." And I said, "Yeah? What's the problem?" She said, "These thoughts, they bother me all the time. And is it all right if I?" Now, first and foremost, is it all right if I? You're the boss. You choose. And I said to her, and I'm hearing confusion on your part. It's on the one hand, you want something. On the other hand, you're asking permission. What is going on? And she said, "This program has made me uncomfortable." I said, "Why are you uncomfortable?" And she said, "I'm not used to living this way. I'm paying attention to what it is that I'm doing. And in the back of my head, this voice is talking to me, and I'm thinking about all the kinds of things that I'm thinking about that have nothing to do with what's going on here." I said, "So what's the problem? How much have you lost?" She says, "I've lost 8 pounds this week." Okay, it's terrific. You lost 8 pounds. But I'm missing. And what are you missing? Well, and here was the very interesting part. She really couldn't articulate what it is that she was missing. There's no question that she was feeling a void. No question at all. The 8 pounds that she lost was lost on her because of the fact that she was thinking about what it is that she was missing, but couldn't articulate what it is that she was missing. Now, what do you want? What's your goal? I want to weigh less. Great. Do you have to justify it? No. But you see the habit? I have to give you a reason for everything that I do. How about it makes me feel good? Is it fair to say that whatever it is you're doing is okay to do if it makes you feel good? Now we have an interesting question. If it makes you feel good, why are you asking the question? And what comes up again and again and again is the fact that I have to justify what I do because the external environment, whatever it is causing me to question. I want to weigh less. If you want to weigh less, do you know what you need to do? I'm going to answer for you. What you need to do is change your habits. Whatever it is you've been doing caused you to gain weight. You said you don't want to gain weight. You said you want to weigh less. If you continue to do what you've been doing, you're not going to weigh less. Dr. Schwartz, is it all right if I? Now, when people ask me that question, I usually try to stop them. And the reason is an extended question doesn't get us anyplace. You're permitted to do anything that you think you should do. You don't have to justify it. The question is, what do you want? And if you accept the fact that what you want is important enough for you to have it, and it doesn't harm anyone else, that's terrific. Now, let's start. I want to lose weight. That's good. Now, if you want to weigh less, and remember, I've made that change because I feel there's a negative connotation when I use the word loss. It becomes negative. But if I want to weigh less, that's clear. And I understand that if I want to weigh less, I'm going to have to change my behavior. How is changing your behavior going to affect you? And the answer, it's going to make me uncomfortable. And why is it going to make you uncomfortable? Because I'm going to be doing what I'm not used to doing. And when I do something that I'm not used to doing, I'm more conscious of it, I'm aware of it, it makes me uncomfortable. Okay, it makes you uncomfortable. Great. Question number 2. The discomfort, what's under it? Well, I'm doing things differently and I have to pay attention. Fantastic. And who are you paying attention to? Myself. Oh, paying attention to yourself in a decision that you've made is uncomfortable because you're not used to paying attention, taking care of yourself. You said you want to lose weight. You said you want to weigh less. Now, why justify it? Why not ask yourself, how does it feel? And one of the things I want all of you to do, it's something I've been doing lately since I've been talking to people, and it's very, very interesting. The next time you put food in your mouth, I don't care what it is. The next time you put food in your mouth, ask yourself, how does it feel? When was the last time you did that? But I'll bet you, if you do that, one of the things that you're going to say is, it feels good. Now think about that. Even if you're on the program, when you put food in your mouth, it's going to feel good. That's how powerful food is. And we can't do without it. Survival, food. We can't survive without food. And that's why it's important to understand what we're doing, because AccuLife is 3 phases. What we are doing in phase 1 is to weigh less. We have to change our behaviors. We have to do different kinds of things. And the rationale, I don't know about you, but the rationale for me is when I want to weigh less, it's something I want for me. And I know if I'm going to weigh less, I'm going to have to change my behavior. You know that you're going to have to change your behavior. You know that changing your behavior is going to make you conscious of it. You know that you're going to change your behavior. Not only you'll be conscious of it, but it's going to make you uncomfortable. So, how about verbalizing? One of the things that I notice, and this is really, really interesting and terrific. I, all of a sudden, paid attention to the fact that I had lost 3 pounds. And it was a tough 3 pounds. I wasn't on the program. I was playing with myself, but I lost 3 pounds. And I struggled to lose those 3 pounds because I had to make some changes, and the changes were conscious. And then I suddenly realized, and it made me feel good, that I had made those changes to get something I wanted. And so I accepted the discomfort only because I wasn't used to it. I had changed the way in which I behaved and suddenly realized, and part of it is because of you and this kind of stuff when we act together, is I did it for myself. I was taking care of me, and I liked the fact that I was taking care of me, and I liked something else also. I realized, and that's the beauty of AccuLife, it's time limited. Not taking care of myself, that's not time limited. What was time limited is these changes that I'm making, these habits that I'm changing by making myself conscious of them. And the hard part, surprised, at least me, for the self-acceptance. That was the struggle. I had to accept the fact that I was going to be uncomfortable making the changes that I made. And when I verbalized them, I realized I wasn't alone. I was talking to another piece of me, but I was the boss. I'm the one doing it. I'm the one making myself important. And then I begin to remember all the kinds of things that we're trying to learn, and the fact that weight management is all psychological, because the power of food, the power of comfort, the power of survival is never going to go away. And I'll never, ever be able to live without food. So how about we learn to live with food, and we do so by opening it up. And that's what AccuLife is all about. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of the law of attraction. I believe it's something that exists. That what you send out into the environment connects with things that are similar, And what you send out attracts what you send out. So that if I send out bad thoughts, they're going to connect, and bad thoughts are going to come back. If I send out a bad mood, well, fine. If I do it again and again and again, because I'm annoyed, because I'm angry, because I'm upset, who cares why? I'm sending out a bad thought. I decided that this discomfort of behaving differently annoys me. And I keep harping on the fact that it annoys me and annoys me. And now I start to complain. And suddenly my behavior becomes more difficult because now I'm having to justify myself instead of saying, you made this decision. Are you happy with the decision you made? I'm uncomfortable with it. How about the results? Are you going to like the results? Yeah, that's why I made the decision. You know anything that's free? No. Not in our present environment, anyplace. Used to be the air is free. Now we got to pay for that too. The key here is to understand. We are now AccuLife. You are the center of this thing, and it's purely psychological. And that's the reason why we have these interventions that we use. I'll give you an example. You know that stress causes this thing called cortisol, which is a hormone, to rise inside your body. And cortisol has all kinds of problems that relate to stress, to mood, to weight gain, and are not good for you. Now, you are the boss. Everything that goes on is not from the outside, it's because of the inside. You can change your mood. All you have to do is change your thought. I didn't say snap your fingers. Change your thought. Instead of complaining that you can only eat from 12 to 6, say, I'm eating from 12 to 6 because look what I'm going to get out of it. That's why I'm doing it. Well, it's making you uncomfortable. Yeah, it's making me uncomfortable, but I'm doing it because I want to weigh less. And the more I practice doing it, the more I'm going to weigh less. And the more I practice it, the more it's not going to become unusual. And the more it's not going to become unusual, the discomfort is going to disappear. And I'll end up having what it is that I want. And then I realized this phase 1 business, which is to weigh less, is going to be gone too. Because you got to be crazy to live this way. 2 days milk, 2 days fruits and vegetables. 2 days milk, 2 days fruits and vegetables. Who wants to live this way? The only reason we're doing it is because we have a goal, we want to achieve it. We accept the fact that it's our goal, so we're doing it, and we continue to do it because we're getting something from it. Are you getting something from it? Why not tell yourself? How about the fact that I'm a stubborn son of a gun and I will not let go until I'm satisfied with it? Oh, it's so hard. And what do we forget? You were so stubborn that you made yourself do something that made you feel good. And you did it because you were so stubborn, even though it was hard. And who did you do it for? You did it for yourself. But we argue because our old habits are constantly getting in the way. We're used to doing things because of how we grew up, what our environment was, our discussions with people, the situations and circumstances that we were involved with. This always happened to me. That always happened to me. I was told this. I was told that. I told you the story. I'll finish my plate. I couldn't get up from that freaking table until I finished the food because people were starving. For an incredible period of time, I was responsible for people in the world who were starving, and I had to eat because if I didn't eat, I would impact on them. Now, I was only a kid. I never realized what it is that we're talking about. But then I put another piece together. And the piece that I put it together was, if I was starving and I didn't realize there were emotional issues involved in that, remember I was only a kid, that when I was starving for emotion, I fed myself. That's a habit. It's a circumstantial habit. It makes no sense. And it makes no sense. It's because it's the images we have inside our heads that have nothing to do with reality. They have to do with us. And what we are doing right now, and that's why we talk about the Magic Protocol, for example. One of the things that we talk about with the Magic Protocol, you know and I know that if I bug you enough and I bug you enough and I bug you enough, the odds are, unless you're superhuman, you're not going to buck it. You're going to do it. You're going to do it. You're going to do it. And finally, what you're going to say is, and the argumentation that goes on, should I, shouldn't I, can I, will I, who, it goes on and on and on. And now I have the truth. When I make a decision, I don't want to vacillate. I don't want to think, because thinking exhausts me. Should I? Shouldn't I? What are the consequences? What will happen? Is it okay? I don't know about you, but that can be exhausting. What would happen if I do it this way instead of doing it this way? Now, I know if I'm on the program and I want to go off, there are going to be consequences. I know that voice inside my head that says I want is not going to shut up until I address it. I know that I'm the center of the world. I make the decisions, but all those voices didn't come from nowhere. They came from inside my head. habits, experiences. We could sit here for who knows how long and say where and why and how. But I know one thing. I want whatever it is I want because I'm uncomfortable, and that discomfort is going to be with me until I can't handle it anymore. And I'm going to give in, and then I'm going to have, most of the time, guilt and remorse. Oh, well, why the heck did I do it? You do it all the time. And then I was going to have these self recriminations. And then I discovered something. Put 3 Tic Tacs in your mouth, knowing that they will prevent you from being able to break down. Because the taste of the Tic Tacs will contaminate the taste of anything else. But also, and that's the tricky little piece, I'll have been giving myself something. I don't know about you, but when I want, and from learning experience, I want to be paid attention to. Now, I'm the parent, and that I want is part of me, and for now, I'm going to make it my child self. Now, a child says, I want what I want when I want it, and I want what I want when I want it, and I'm going to want it until I get it, and then it's over for the child until it wants again. Most of the time, there is no rhyme and reason. It's something to do with comfort or whatever, but there's no clarity. Yeah, I want it. Oh, that looks good. I want it. So what I've learned is we've got to pay attention. I have to address that voice I want. Okay, I'm addressing the voice. You want? Here's a Tic Tac. I don't want a Tic Tac. I understand. Here's a Tic Tac. I don't want a Tic Tac. Here's a Tic Tac. And what happens? Number one, I give the I want attention. And I end up not having to have the argument and the fight. Why go through the argument and the fight when I'm beginning to recognize that I'm the most important person in my life? You've got to be the most important person in your life. Didn't they teach us on the airplane? The air is going down, the thing falls down. Put your own on first. Because if you can take care of yourself, you can take care of the rest. If you can't take care of yourself, so you should be the most important person in your life. Why aren't you the most important person in your life? Now, let's sit here and give me 50 million reasons, and all of the reasons have a rationale attached to them. You can give me a rationale for. I'm not saying the rationale is wrong. What I'm saying is, if you don't care about yourself, then number one, you're walking around with a piece of yourself that's important because you're conscious of it. You can hear it, you can feel it, you can relate to it. You're dealing with a portion of yourself that's at odds with you. And you can't escape that piece because it's part of you. But it's not the central part of you. It's aspects of you that were developed because of the habits that you developed over a lifetime. So we can go round and round and round in circles trying to deal with it simply because of the fact that we do things because we used to do things. And we do them and continue to do them because we're comfortable doing them without thinking about it. I love AccuLife because I'm creating a lifestyle, and I never realized it before until I asked the question, weight loss, weigh less. Now, I've shared with you my issues as a child, and that in fact I'm a miracle because of my learning disability and my dyslexia. I overcame that, but I didn't overcome it alone. I had help. People who helped me see myself. And that's what we're doing here, creating a lifestyle. And remember what I said when we first started? 90% of people who go on diets gain the weight back within 3 years. What the heck is that all about? Now, if it's good for you, it's going to be good. Because you are the most important person in your life. And remember the other part. And this I absolutely believe to be accurate. If I don't have love for me, where the heck am I going to get the compassion and whatever else for you? Out of the vacuum? One of the things that AccuLife is doing is putting you in the center. You're the center of the world. What you send out, you're going to attract. And what you send out, you're going to attract. The more conscious you are about it, the more you recognize that it's your entire life. One of the things that I find is when I'm kind to you, it makes me feel good. And when I'm not kind to you, I don't feel so good. So it's harder for me, the more conscious I am of me, to not be kind to you, because then I don't like me so much. And when I don't like me so much, it changes my mood and it changes everything around it. On the other hand, I'm important enough to recognize that certain behaviors, like when you say to me, is it all right? And I say to you, hold it. What do you mean when you say, is it all right? It's your decision. How can it not be right? It's your decision. Got it? You already know there's a problem or you wouldn't be asking. So our habit pattern is to get used to playing this game with ourselves without us being the center of the world. And it's why AccuLife is such a wonderful change. Weighing less is only the initial goal. And making ourselves important enough to weigh less and accepting the changes that we're going to make. But it leaves the second part as well. And this is so exciting for me. I told you about the gal I was talking to who said, I had enough. And I said, I understand. What do you want? She said, I don't want to gain weight. And I said, okay, let's not gain weight. But I don't want to do the program. And I said, okay, let's go to phase 2, stabilization. But then I won't lose weight. I didn't say not to want to lose weight. You said, I don't want to do this. So now we're going back and forth. And I say, hold it. What happens in phase 2? She says, I learn to stabilize, not to gain. Okay. Is that valuable? Yes. Is it important to you? Yes. Are you going to change your behaviors and they're going to be important? Yes. What do you lose? Well, I'm not going to be losing weight. I didn't say give up losing weight. What are you going to lose? And she said, I'm not losing anything. It's just going to take me longer. Oh, tell me, is it okay with you to take longer to do the same kind of thing? If you're going to Chicago and you want to go by Texas and I want to go by Pennsylvania, we're both going to get to Chicago. Now, if you've got to be there faster than me, okay, that's for you. What else is different? And AccuLife allows us to make ourselves important enough to change the way our lifestyle is impacting on us. More and more and more, we become the boss of ourselves with the acknowledgement that we're worth it. We get rid of all these old habits. And that's all they are. A habit is not a good thing or a bad thing. It's a thing. I'm used to doing it. I do it. It's a habit. I am so excited to be talking with people and learning from you that I don't have to do it alone. I'm getting insights and understanding and helping people make decisions that are good for them. Has nothing to do with what I want or what I like. It's your life. You came here and you said, I want to weigh less. And we've developed into this incredible product where the psychology of our lives is becoming more and more under our control. Your mood and your behavior is your mood and your behavior. You control it. Do you understand that? You control it. Oh, but it's so hard. Well, it's hard. Do you want to control how you feel? Well, when it's a bad feeling, I don't like it. I'd like to change my mood. Change your mood. What do you mean change my mood? Sing a song, go for a walk, do the magic protocol. Change your mood by changing your behavior. Practice changing your behavior and you'll change your mood. Practice changing your behavior and you'll change your mood. Who becomes the boss of you? You become the boss of you. And when you become the boss of you, do you like yourself better? I'll be very surprised if you tell me you don't. Do you like getting up in the morning with the you that you are? Remember, that's the thing. Now, when it's that aspect of my personality, I have to ask myself, and when it's the child self, it says, I want. And I understand that a child wants what it wants when it wants. And once it gets what it wants, it's over until it wants something else. And it doesn't have to be a rhyme and a reason. But for me, the adult, the I want may conflict with my goals and who I am and what it is. And therefore, I want to address that child and its wants by doing something to change the habit and the behavior. So I'm saying to the child, you want blah, blah, blah. I'm giving you this. So I'm addressing the child saying, I want, I'm giving it something, and I'm moving on. And the rule of 21 kicks in. When you do some behavior without variance for 21 consecutive days, it becomes a new habit. And now the child is getting used to getting its needs met by getting paid attention to. And I'm feeling good about it because I recognize that those habits might be problematic for me. The whole key here is we stop making excuses. This is what we have to do. We have to verbalize. We have to acknowledge I got what I wanted, but it was hard. But I was stubborn enough to do the hard thing, to get what it is I wanted. And I'm happier about me because I got now what it is that I wanted. And I recognize I made myself worth it. And once I make myself worth it, our interactive behavior is going to change. I see it all the time. You remember the guy I told you about, the 357-pounder? And remember what he said? I lost 200 pounds. And suddenly I went from someone who was invisible to someone whose life has entirely changed. And it's changed simply because of the fact that I became worth it to me. My interactions changed. People changed towards me because I was simply being someone who liked himself better, who changed his behavior because he liked himself better. And it impacted on everybody else. We're all in the same place. What we have to do is stop making excuses. You want to weigh less? Remember, the psychology is important because this program is the healthiest thing around because it doesn't require any extras. All other programs have these chemical or hormonal kinds of changes that occur. You can live on this. You just have to change your habits. And when you change your habits and you like the habits that you create, you begin to like you better.